The Rebel Capitalist Show.
What is the elevator pitch for NFTs? Because I know for my audience, again, it's just an age thing too, because you're a lot younger than I am. And so maybe we just grew up and, we didn't have cell phones when I was growing up. So we didn't even have pagers until like, I don't know, probably like my last year of college or something, something like that. So, but I guess that would be the first question. Do you think it's a generational thing? And then for NFTs specifically, kind of what's the value proposition there? Because I went to a meetup in Puerto Rico with some guys that are really big in the NFT space. And I don't know that I was completely sold, but they have some angles on NFTs that most of my audience probably has never thought through, such as the smart contracts and whatnot, how you can sell them and get paid later into the future and whatnot. So I guess A, do you think that's a generational thing, an age deal? And then B, kind of what's the use case for, or the value proposition for NFTs?
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's necessarily a generational thing. I think it's one of those things where it's like, first you kind of like you think it's stupid, and then afterwards like you start to see it pick up. It's like, oh, it starts to make more sense, and it's like then you start you maybe you're still making fun of it, and then it's like you finally like come into it, right? That's how I was initially. Like when I saw NFTs in Clubhouse, when I was hanging on in Clubhouse, there's a lot of these NFT rooms. This was in late 2020, early 2021. I was like, this is kind of stupid. But then I was like, I kind of get it. And then like 3 months later, I'm just like, okay, like if I really want to understand this stuff, I should just buy some and see where it goes. And then I was like, if I really want to understand this stuff, I'm just going to build one and really have the scar tissue and the experience behind it.
So you built an NFT.
Yeah, we launched one like about a month, 6 weeks ago. We did like about almost $500,000 in sales.
Explain that to me. Can you just walk me through that whole process from A to Z?
Yeah, sure. So, but before I do, I want to answer your question too. I think it's when you look at NFTs, I mean, when you're buying a home, really what you're buying at the end of the day is you're buying a piece of paper, right? You're buying the deed. If you have like a bunch of, people that hate you move in and they say your home is mine, then you're pretty much screwed, right? So really what you're buying is a contract at the end of the day. And to your point, with NFTs, what you're really buying is you're buying like a digital signature to kind of authenticate that you do in fact own that piece, right? And you can see for the first time in history, you can see the provenance behind like anything digital, right? Where you couldn't before, you couldn't really verify like who made this, who owns it. Now you can. It's kind of digital property, right? Now, do I think 99% of this stuff is going to zero? Yes. Do I think 99% of the people in the space are very short-term driven and they're speculating? Yes. But so largely like the things that I try to buy or hold are things that I think will be around for the long term. And I look at it much more of like angel investing, right? Do I believe in the team behind it? Do I think they can execute on whatever they're proposing? And that's what it is. So that's the answer to your question.
Okay.
And then now for our project, it's called Leveling Up Heroes. And for me, we're talking kind of pre-show. I really like connecting with people, right? So I like throwing dinners. I like doing events. I like attending events, and magic just happens, which is why I'm even in Miami. And get good deal flow from that. You become lifelong friends. Like just there's so much leverage you gain from that. And so my whole thing was like, I'm going to make an NFT, but it's going to be more like a membership NFT. And what that means is you get access to like, for example, our first event is happening next week in Austin at the W Hotel.
This is with you and Neil?
This one's just me.
Okay.
And Neil's going to be there too, right? And by the way, you're welcome to come. But I'm going to do 3 events a year. I'm going to do quarterly dinners. And my whole thing too is, guys, like we're going to connect with amazing people, 7 to 9 figure founders, and I'm going to share deal flow. We'll all share deal flow with each other so we can invest together. And then we can also make magic happen. So, and then there's like a larger conference where we have like speakers and things like that, which I'd love to have you come at some point.
So this is a mastermind group.
Yeah, it's basically a mastermind group. There's events, and then also there's like a handful of other benefits I've added into it. But the cool thing about this now is like, let's say, George, you buy an NFT and you decide at some point, like, okay, like I've gotten my use out of this, like I just want to sell it. You can sell it. And by the way, the ticket, like if the people value the event and they value the NFT higher, you might actually make a profit on your ticket, and someone else is going to get to benefit from that too, right? So you get to win from that, but also on the transaction, I might collect anywhere from 5 to 10% on like a royalty there. So I continue to make money too over time, and I can reinvest it back into the initiative, or I can just take profits.
Interesting. So it's like a golf club membership.
Yeah.
Like at a very kind of prestigious club where some of them you can actually sell your membership to someone else. And I know a lot of people. In fact, my brother-in-law has made quite a bit of money on, he bought it just to play golf, and then 5 years later, he moves somewhere, sells it, and the membership is worth double what he paid. But then with the NFT, you as the originator of the NFT and the head of the mastermind, you would get a kickback for that sale. If I'm understanding
correct. And that's like a very simple, like that's a very
built into the electronic contract.
Yeah, that's a simple, that's a simple feature built into the smart contract. But also this, right? If you're holding the NFT and I say, hey, like, if I'm trying to disincentivize you from selling or like give you more stuff for the long term, I might just say, hey, every year, George, like we're going to give you other benefits. I might release a very special NFT that only holders get. And I might release some other features that only holders get, right? So that's kind of the benefit of having an NFT versus just having like a regular ticket, because I can just, it's called airdropping. I'll know all the holders. I'll know all the addresses that they have, and I'll just airdrop them special features or special new art that I'm releasing. So.
So you can deliver value through an NFT above and beyond just a JPEG of like a monkey or something. I think that's kind of the hang up for most people. So you're like, if you were doing a special training session, let's say for your members, you could deliver that through an NFT, or am I getting that wrong?
I love that you said that, because there's one guy out there who's really focused on making education NFTs. So here's the beauty, right? Let's say, George, you launch a course. Maybe you sell it for, $1,000 US in value. If that community becomes more powerful or over time or super, super valuable, that could in fact double to $2,000 or $3,000, right? So now the beauty of that is whoever's part of your community, they're incentivized to continue to talk about what you have, the benefits of what you have, right? So you almost build an army of marketers with you, assuming that you build a great product. And so, now when you launch an educational thing, not only do you have a bunch of people promoting you, which increases the floor price of what you have, you can actually, your audience benefits from it, and you also benefit from the resales long term.
So they can sell the class. So let's say that I do a class on how to understand the Fed's balance sheet or quantitative easing or something like that, or inflation versus deflation. Then, so I sell it for $100 or whatever. And then XYZ person buys that. But then once they've watched it 100 times, they've memorized it. They say, okay, now I want to sell this to my friend. And then they sell it to their friend for, let's say $90. So he gets a bit of a bargain, let's say a sales price, and he buys it for $90 so he can watch it. But then into the contract, I've got it built into where when that next transaction happens, then I get $50 of the $90 or 50% or something like that. Is that how it works?
Yeah, I mean, you could make the royalty that high. Typically, it's not that high, but yes, it's at a very simple level. Yes, but also here's the thing too. Like, again, like you have a community with Rebel Capitalist Pro, right? Yeah. If you have a very engaging community, like there's one membership card right now from the creator of Kevin Rose. He founded a company called Dig a long time ago.
Yeah, I remember. Yep.
And so like, I bought that one for 2 Ethereum, which right now that's valued about 6,200. The value of that card now, there's only 1,000 of them, is actually 91 Ethereum. So that's actually about $282,000 just for that membership card.
So the reason, what does that membership give you?
Yeah, so it gives you a Discord group where they share information on new drops that are coming out, and they'll give you early access to drops that they're doing, which they just did one recently that just did like $200 million.
What do you mean by a drop?
So a drop is when they have like new releases coming out, like new art coming out, new NFTs coming out. Yeah. Okay. So they just did $200 million, right? Or like in transaction volumes, I think 75 of it just went directly to them. So that's big, right? And so, for them, it's just like the reason the card value kept going up was because of everyone in the community talking about all the value that they were getting, and the floor price kept going up. So ideally, if you're launching a course, you launch it with a community, and if the community is so good, people can't help but to talk about it. So the floor price actually goes up. So when they resell your course, it comes with the community, and that price actually goes up.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I'm better understanding it. So it's basically a smart contract.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just either a smart contract for a piece of art or education or whatever you want to put into that contract.
Correct. And here's the beautiful thing, like us thinking from an investor standpoint, we're going to be able to see in the next 5 to 10 years, who's really good at investing in this stuff. Cause you can just look at the contract and see like what they bought into really early. And you're going to be able to filter out the best investors out there. And you can just, if they start a fund, everyone's going to want to invest in these people, right? Because they just make the right calls. So.